Welcome back to Meaningful Conversations Live with Beata. I'm Beata Seweryn-Reid, your coach. Oh, your host, sorry. Your host, coach sometimes as well. And I am so excited to be here with all of you again because every week, Tuesday at noon, I bring amazing guests, powerful humans that are helping me to empower you and encourage you to create positive change in your own life and bring more awareness, because sometimes we feel like we are going through struggles on our own, that there is no one else experiencing that pain, just me, and it's not true. So today I have amazing lady, amazing speaker, coach. Oh my goodness, there is like a list, like the president. I just said before we connected, your bio is like President of the United States bio. So her name is Teri, and I will do my best. Karjala?
Close enough. Karjala.
Karjala.
Yes.
Teri Karjala. What you need to remember, everyone, is that she's amazing. Teri is a thought leader in female empowerment and entrepreneurship. She combines her counseling background with energy psychology and applies principles of the law of attraction to shift her clients' mindsets and transform their lives. Only that sentence is so powerful. So, oh my gosh, welcome to the show, Teri.
Thank you. It's a delight. Well, I think that it takes one to know one. So you are just as incredible. So I am delighted to be here on your show.
Thank you so very much. And today we're gonna talk about self-sabotaging, and the topic that I choose based on what I learned about you is addicted to self-sabotage. So what first of all, why that topic? Like, how did you find out that the self-sabotage is one of the main things that gets in the way of our dreams, of our goals, and our everyday life?
Yeah, I work with a lot of women and female entrepreneurs, and I have very high-powered, overachieving, high-achieving individuals. And, I see that, self-sabotage happens to be I there's like five top blocks that I see for entrepreneurs, and mindset is the number one. And underneath mindset, I say, sabotage is one of the top 5 blocks that happens for a lot of entrepreneurs. I do think it's par for the course, because as you know, having a business at any level, whether you're starting out, whether you're growing it, expanding it, or even exiting it, there are a personal transformation that comes with the journey. We may not sign up for that initially, but it is part of the journey. And so every single thing that we are running from, hiding from, avoiding, resisting will get shown in some light on this journey. I truly believe it. And so even the things that in a million years I would never have said, yeah, this is going to show up for me, and then it does, and it's like, oh, here it is, right? So self-sabotage, really is those patterns, those beliefs, really the programming, if you will, that really holds us back in some area of our life. Now, for the purpose of this conversation, I know we're talking to a lot of entrepreneurs on this call, but that doesn't have to be just for entrepreneurs. This can be the working mom. This can be for the career woman. Like, this is for, I believe this conversation can hit across all individuals that are here. And so it is very powerful, because what happens is we can be going along on our journey and not even be consciously aware that that's happening. And for the most part, when I'm working with people, it is completely unconscious. They know something's going on because they don't have everything that they desire, and they're wondering, why it is taking them so long. Or, for example, I was doing this event a couple weeks ago, and we talked about Groundhog's Day and how you've seen that movie where we are continuing to live through the same getting the same results over
Right.
and over and again. And it might be a year later, it might be 5 years later, and then we find ourselves just still stuck in the same position. And a lot of that comes back to, the sabotage that's happening for us. And truth be told, I think a lot of times when I'm working with people, they say, my, biggest fear is fear of failure. But what I have found far more true than anything is it's not the fear of failure, it's the fear of success. It's the fear
Mhm.
of what's going to really happen when I do become that in which I desire, or what is that going to look like when I truly step out and own all of my brilliance? What is that truly going to look at? Like, what are other people going to think and do? And so, and in some ways, in keeping ourselves small, again, this is totally unconscious, we will shrink to fit in. We will shrink to hold ourselves back because of that. And so, in that process, we find ourselves sabotaging what could be.
Wow. So the next, well, you just said amazing stuff because, well, we all have things that we want to achieve in lives. And for example, lose 10 pounds, 5 pounds. Yes, it's what we ladies like, this freaking 5 pounds, if I would go away. Then we want to get the promotion, the romantic relationship, the one that will, we believe, fulfill us, and or travel around. We even put these goals on the mirror in the bathroom to read it every day and share with the family, friends to keep us accountable. And we still self-sabotage ourselves. We still are in our own way. So the next question would be, what causes that? Like, what is maybe in your experience with your clients and in your own life? What
Yeah.
is the main thing that we cannot overcome, that we are like, I can't. We try. It's like, no, it's not for me. I'm not good to be
Yeah.
entrepreneur. I'm not good enough to be whatever or achieve whatever.
Yeah, so it really goes back to our programming. It really goes back to that subconscious and unconscious program that we've had. Now,
Mhm.
our brain, for the first 8 years of our life, that is when those neural pathways are being created. That is when consciousness comes on, into form, right? Or I'm sorry, the subconscious comes onto online. And so we've created some really amazing stories up to the first 8 years of our life. And if you think about brain development, that's how the brain is developed. We go from our reptilian part of our brain, and then around age 25, some research says 26, we
Right.
then create the frontal cortex of our brain, which, it takes us around 26 years to fully formulate our brain. Now, what happens is, for those that had some really great upbringing and the foundation was laid and it was okay, we're going to have a better time. But for some of those folks like myself, where that foundation wasn't necessarily laid very well, and not to say, I've met lots of people that, they might have not had challenges in their upbringing, but then in their 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s, they're like, right? I literally just made a post like maybe 15 months ago that I have not met a person yet that has not had to overcome some sort of adversity somewhere in their life in some capacity. I just hasn't, like,
Absolutely.
I'm the ultimate optimistic, so I'm always looking for that person, but I have not found it, including myself, to find that person, because I do truly believe that things are presented to us in a timely manner that we have the ability to overcome, to move us forward. So having said that, that previous programming, and it's unconscious and subconscious. That's why it's so stinking frustrating, because we're not hitting the dial. We're not moving the dial to where we'd like to do it. And we get so frustrated because we're like, why is this not happening? And I literally was on a conversation a few weeks ago, and this person goes, I am doing every single thing that the marketers are telling me. I am doing the posts, I'm doing my lives, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. So they're doing all the skill piece, and they're still not creating the level of success. And so when that self-sabotage comes up, again, unconscious, and we have these little stories that play,
Right.
and these stories sometimes sound like, I can't do this. Who am I? I feel guilty for saying yes when I should have been saying no, because now I'm distracting myself from doing what's really important, and getting that cash register to ring. Who am I kidding? How can I even do this?
All right.
I'm disappointed in myself, all these stories that are playing out. A lot of times procrastination is a big game player when it comes to self-sabotage, is that there might be opportunities. And I am telling you this from experience, because I remember early on in my career, I had these really amazing opportunities, and I literally did not call the person back. Like, I mean, talk about procrastination in self-sabotage in its greatest form. Like, the person is calling me and saying, hey, I'd like you to be da 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 da, and like you to do this. And I literally just refused to call them back. Right. So
Right.
this is those behaviors and patterns that get in the way of us truly saying yes to us. And I have found, and maybe this is true for you too, is that a lot of entrepreneurs have a hard time being seen in the world, being worthy of, feeling good enough, and being heard, like actually having a voice, and that their voice matters. And so if I'm feeling insecure about this, and I'm feeling, not sure, gosh, you know what? I'm not going to go there. And I'm just going to find a way to avoid that, because it feels uncomfortable. And as soon as I put myself out there, outside the comfort zone, I'm vulnerable, and it feels, uncomfortable. So I will do that behavior. So the reason why it's so challenging for people is to get out of there is because it's programmed. It's unconscious programming. And, the first step is in anything is, as you know, is becoming aware of it. Right. And so as soon as we become aware of it, that can be such a game changer for a lot of individuals. And I like to give it a name. Like, I like to project it and give it a name. Maybe that's Sally the Saboteur or whatever, give it a name and externalize it. Because as soon as you do this, you start to take away the power that it has. You have the awareness of, like, hey, it's showing up for me. I've given this example before, is that, back in the day, like, my anxiety around speaking would just take over. And so I get super anxious, and what it would do is it would rev me up. Right. And so I would call her Revy, because she was a little bit of a self-sabotager in a lot of ways, because she would try to throw me off my game. Right. And so I called her Revy, because that's what she did. And so I became aware of her. And then her and I mean, in the beginning, we had a really rough relationship, right? She was really super defiant. I mean, she was like this bratty teenager that wasn't listening to direction, super disobedient, right? But we, over time, created this, my biggest cheerleaders in a way, because anxiety is a motivator. And so when we can stop and pause for a moment, what is that emotion that's coming up? What is those thoughts processes that are coming up? How is it serving us? What is it here to do? Because so often we get afraid, and we say, gosh, this tendency for me, this anxiety that's coming up, it's bad and wrong. When actually, when we think about emotions, we think about, they're just our internal guidance system. They're literally here to support us on this journey. And if we can see them for that, it takes away their power. It takes away, and it's like, wow, okay, it's showing up for me here. And, anxiety, for example, is a motivator. Like, we want to have some degree of anxiety because it motivates us. It keeps us alert. It keeps us aware. And we can be present in the moment, right? Now, if we go too far, too much, then it becomes debilitating, and it doesn't serve us, and we could be passing out. but at that beginning level, it's here to serve us. And so if we can see any of these behaviors as such, it starts to take away its power, and it puts us back in power over what's coming up and what's showing up for us.
Hello.
Yes, I feel like I have a delay here. It's like
we are breaking, but it's gonna do it. The universe is gonna help us.
Yes.
All right. So from what you just said, I want to highlight that the self-sabotage very often is, first of all, the stories that we keep telling ourselves that very often also are not even ours. And the lack of skills, I think, especially as far as entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs, the lack of confidence, the lack of skills. Well, can I be seen? Can I do this video if I don't feel comfortable? So then probably I will say something stupid. And it's me a year and a half ago when I was really encouraged by coach, by friend that said, well, if you really want to break that, you want to speak, so you have to speak on the video to strangers on the Facebook. And I was like, no, there's no way. And he's like, oh yes, you will. So it's the only way to go through what is stopping you is to go through it. And yes, at the beginning it's gonna be scary and uncomfortable, but then it's like, who cares? I feel comfortable.
I think that's I agree with you. I mean, I feel like the breakthrough is just right beyond what we're going through, right? And so to show up and to continue, I had a similar background because I was terrified of speaking, and then here, lo and behold, like things started falling into place, and now I'm speaking on major stages, I'm being interviewed. And like you said, like, the Facebook Lives, I mean, these are not easy for anybody to do, but you took a step, and you took a step to be vulnerable, and you took a step to start, right? And that's so powerful, is just take the first step and then do it again, right? When I was doing my Facebook Lives, it was so funny because I would, mine are Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. and I do my Facebook Lives, and I would freak out up until Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. And then I'd do my 20-minute Facebook Live, and then I'd get off, and then I'd be like, okay, oh my gosh, Tuesday's going to be here in 7 days. And so I would freak back out for another 7 days until Tuesday came around. But over time, like, I'm sure that you've seen this, you have created a muscle. You've developed that confidence. You might not have been great in the first, for me, it was like the first 2 years. You're way ahead of the game. But it took me, I mean, I've been doing this for like, I think 3.5 years, almost 4 years now. And I'm just like, okay, finally, right? But what you've noticed is, like, every time you challenge that, it gets easier. It gets easier, and and it starts to build that, all of that, the confidence, the worthiness, all of that, just by taking one more step, one more show, right? And I am so excited for you because this is the 99th show, which I just think is amazing. Like, let's give her a round of applause. Like, this is phenomenal.
Yeah, 19.
And now we're going, and you're gonna be celebrating 100 shows next week. So I mean, applaud to you, right? Because that isn't easy. And I am guessing, okay, is this fair to say that there was sometimes a voice that wanted you to keep you from doing this?
Oh my gosh, the voice is still there.
Just 5 minutes ago, right? Like,
yeah, the voice is still there. It's like, are you serious? And how did you get to episode 99? Like, oh my gosh, who is, like, no? And then it's like, oh, I call my little voice, little B, shut up, we gonna do it. So yes,
I love it.
It's my conversation just before every time I come up live.
And you had every,
sorry, your voice broke.
Well, and you have every reason. You have every reason to avoid this. Like, you don't have to do this, really. I mean, really, right?
Right.
So every time you are confronting that voice, you're confronting that. And now I'm certain, now that you've done 100 shows, I'm certain that it's gotten easier in a lot of ways.
Oh, absolutely. Even because when you are on your own is different, and when you interview people is also different. So every time you have to overcome different challenges, the inner challenges, yes. And well, I have a couple people in our audience. Thank you so much. Super startup. Oh, Beata, great tips. Yes, because I have great people. So we have a great tips. Thank you. We have Ian saying you guys are on top form. Thank you, Ian, for joining us. And please, Pratibha, thank you so much for being here. Everyone who is here, and I don't see you maybe on StreamYard, please let us know that you are with us. And do not hesitate to ask questions, because our guest speaker is here live. She can give you the answer to whatever is bothering you in reference to self-sabotage.
Yeah, I have my magic wand somewhere. Where did I put it? Yes.
You do. You have a couple tools that actually you could. Yeah, as far as tools. So, what is your number one tool that could help anyone who is listening today and will listen later on to help to break that self-sabotaging because it's a habit, yes, this addiction.
Yeah. Well, you think about it's like the default, right? So it's always playing. It's kind of like the NASDAQ ticker that never shuts off, right? It's always playing out. And so when we can bring that unconscious thought process to the consciousness, then we have some power to really make a choice. And I'm telling you, awareness and then choice is a game changer. And so a lot of the work that I do with my clients, I do a lot of like clearing out. And so I help looking at the brain patterns that are happening, and from a programming standpoint, we look at where are those neural pathways saying this equals that, right? And I take my clients through some outside the box tools for sure, and we do some clearing that it can be a matter of seconds. Honestly, it doesn't have to be a lifetime of work, and then I teach them the tools that they can be doing every day. Myself.
Oh, we are live. You cannot fake it. So.
We're live. You know what's so funny is normally I hang a sign on my door that says I'm on a live recorded call, and I did not do it today, so I apologize. Give me one moment. Can you mute me for a second, and I'm going to run and take care of that real quick.
So, for everyone who is with us today, this is live. You cannot fake live. So, when stuff is occurring, you just have to deal it on the place, like at the moment. And here you go. She is back. It's fixed.
That's it. There you go. Like, thank you for your patience.
Absolutely.
The joys of 2021.
Yes.
What was I talking about? Oh, so some of the tools, and all the tools that I teach are under 2 minutes. Most of them are under 30 seconds. So thank you, Ian. I appreciate that. It's a miniature wiener dog, right? So you want to come up? Okay. So there's when initially you said I have a tool designed for self-sabotage, and but it looks a little weird, so I want to make sure that I do another tool that's a little bit more beginner level, and then feel free to reach out and connect if you'd like some more resources. So one of the things that happens is when we start to sabotage, we have a little voice. So those thoughts start to generate in our mind. And what happens with those thoughts is it actually engages the brain. It actually activates the reticular activation system of our brain. And what that part of the brain does is its job is to always scan the environment to find evidence. Now, the brilliance of the brain is this: negative thoughts will find negative evidence. Positive thoughts will find positive evidence. Like, it's simply that easy. And it's almost like we have an internal like Google machine, right, in our brain. And so when we are thinking these negative thoughts, it's going to activate that part in the brain. It's also going to activate our emotional system as well. And so depending on where we're lying on that vibration, so depression, fear, low vibration, up to the highest vibration where we have love and gratitude, we're also going to be, so there's multiple, we're multifaceted human beings right here. And so there's multiple layers here. So we want to cancel out that process so that we can tap back into most powerful being, right? And so what the tool is when you have those negative thoughts that are coming in, and this tool is great for bringing about awareness to your thoughts, but it also helps cancel out the thought. And I want your listeners to write this down. Now, if you're driving, please do not do this while you're driving. Come back to it and take a moment to write this down. But the tool goes like this: interesting point of view that I have this interesting point of view. And I'll repeat that. So you want to put a 3x behind that too. So interesting point of view that I have this interesting point of view. And what happens is, and for those that are watching me on video, it's I have the negative thought that's coming in, right? Gosh, I can't be doing this. What am I, right? Only Beata can do Facebook Lives. I can't, right? And we're, all of that stuff that's sabotaging us. So we go, interesting point of view that I have this interesting point of view, interesting point of view that I have this interesting point of view, interesting point of view that I have this point of view. And it cancels it out. Now, what I highly recommend after we've canceled it out, we've brought it to conscious awareness, is we open ourselves back up. Now, Beata and I talked about law of attraction earlier. And, when we can open ourselves back up to the possibilities, we can do so by asking what else is possible. Okay. It frees us from that doom and gloom thinking and that spiral, because when we hook into that spiral, we'll spiral down. And I'm telling you, sometimes people have a hard time coming back from that spiral. It might be 24 hours. It could be, 3 days. It could be, for a lot of people, a week, or, in some cases, 6 months, right? Or to stop the negative thought process, because it has a domino effect in our brain and our emotional system. And so if we can cancel it out and then ask ourselves what else is possible, it helps us open back up to what we could be also generating, creating, and also receiving. Because if you think about energy, is meant to, they're meant to be a flow, a give and a receive, right? And if we are constantly, and we can't receive anymore. Okay. So it's very powerful in the world of law of attraction too, if we throw that in there as well.
Wow, that is so powerful. I love especially this canceling the thoughts and asking yourself what else is possible. And I think you would agree that one of the most powerful ways because first you have to know your thoughts and that they are mostly negative, and it's what causes your feelings, is journaling. And I know that you do it on a daily basis. You even have a physical journal that you created for people. That's true.
Yeah, they're literally hot off the press, just reached them last week. But what I talk about is the evidence journals, because if we can start reprogramming the brain and resetting the defaults, it's a game changer. It's a game changer of what we could be creating, because we are now more in alignment. And I love talking about being in alignment with all of us, all of our, our physical, emotional, spiritual being. And then that's when we start to see things fall into place. There's no accident that, that you can see people creating by design, right? They're in alignment with that energy. They're in alignment. And I truly believe that we are all capable of doing it, because and how I know this is because that we were all born with everything that we needed for this journey, this lifetime. And so we are born with everything. We were this little compact. And so honestly, it's just usually a process of just uncovering it and rediscovering it, versus trying to fix us. There's nothing wrong with us. There's simply, there's this uncovering process of what we are meant to do.
Wow, the love and attraction topic is amazing, and I would love you to come back sometime soon and talk about that, because I know for many people, still for me even, I learn about law and attraction and I try to practice it. It's still not that easy, because I know, talking to my clients, that how do you tap in this higher vibrations? What the heck is it? So this is
so when you think about the law of attraction, if you dig down deeper, it's really the law of vibration. So everything is operating on these vibrations. And so, I mean, we could do a deep dive on this, but I know that we are a short amount of time, but just for a little like high level is like when we think about how are we showing up? Like I truly believe the only thing that we have control over is how we show up. Like, how are we showing up in this moment? And oftentimes, as entrepreneurs, we will go to things that we dread, we will go to things that we hate to do, and we will go there with like ugh, I hate being here. And I always
So
tell people,
true.
like, if you're in that place and space, don't go. Like, just simply don't go. And as soon as you step back into your brilliance, which you will, because that's your homeostasis, if you will, when you step back into that, you're going to have clients that you've hired or situations that you've said yes to, and it's not going to be in alignment anymore. And that gap is going to create a lot of what's the word I want to use? Difficulty for you, and you're not going to be resonating with it anymore. So how we show up is everything. That's a game changer, right? I'll be in total transparency. Before I hopped on this call, I set my intentions. I got really crystal clear of what I was going to show up as. I did a couple brain exercises so that I knew that I was accessing all of my files. So in case you threw like some zingers at me, I could grab these zingers and be like, okay, right? Like, so I'm fully present for you, right? And so it took me maybe 5 minutes to prep for this call, but I wanted to make sure that whoever is listening to this call right now gets all of me, right? And they get to experience, and I hope, my intention is always to bring my energy so that even if they get nothing out of this call, they just feel better by having listened to this call and be like, yes, like I think I can do this. Like, I'm gonna get some permission here to like go do something because of Beata and Teri's energy. Like, I hope that that's like the byproduct of what we create, right?
I love it. That is so true. Teri, thank you so much for being here with us today and sharing that wisdom. And again, I would love to have you back for talking about law and attractions and intentions, especially because I think we have a misunderstanding a lot about what is intention and how to set it properly.
Yeah.
But today we are talking about self-sabotaging. And what is your final thought, your maybe final empowering message to our audience that would help them and all of us to start empowering ourselves instead of shrinking and keeping the addiction to break the addiction to self-sabotage? What is it?
Yeah, I think going back to, for those, is that awareness of what is it when you start to expand. Okay, I truly believe that we are here to be massively expansive beings, and if we have a body and we have a heartbeat, we are here to do great things, and our work is not done, right? So I truly believe that when we start to have that awareness, and when we start to feel that resistance come up, okay, because that resistance is really an indicator for us that says, okay, I have a choice to make, and I have a choice to walk through this, right? And I can be scared. Like
Right.
I have done, this is so funny. I'm going to share this with you because I've wanted to work the muscle up to say yes to more, and to work that muscle that resistance comes up for me, right? And getting outside my comfort zone. So I've become a like byproduct adventurista because I want to work that muscle. And so I've said yes to lots and lots of adventures that I would normally have been totally, I mean, well, I am terrified. And I do things, like I tell people, I'm like, I'm gonna pee my pants. Like, I think I'm gonna pee my pants. So when you get forced to that place, and I'm gonna ask that you just breathe, okay? But just take that next best step. You are going to be scared. Give yourself permission to do it scared. Do it for your company, do it for your children, do it for your community, you, to do this. They're waiting to have you show up and be the guide for them, right? And so when that moment shows up and you are saying, "Oh my gosh, I want to run and hide," don't. Like, simply say, you know what, I'm going to go and I'm going to pee my pants like Teri said, and I'm going to do it. And I promise you, 99.9% of the time, you are not going to pee your pants, okay? You're going to do it scared, and your body is going to be like, okay, that wasn't so bad. And you're going to look back going, well, what was the big deal? And the more we do this, the more we step out of what we have known. And actually, I was drawing this the other day. Let me just let me erase this. We have a few minutes here. Let me show you this, because that sabotaging tendency is trying to keep us small. It's trying to keep the ego playing small, okay? But every time we say yes to ourselves, okay, this is our comfort zone. And oftentimes we have big opportunities that are out here, and it seems terrifying. We feel the need to do that. But every time we say yes to resistance and we actually face it and we say yes to ourselves, we take a little step outside that comfort zone. And this now becomes our comfort zone. And we do another step, right? Eleanor Roosevelt has the greatest quote. She's like, do something that scares you every single day, right?
Amen.
She was a wise woman, right?
Yes.
And so we can just keep doing this until we hit where that is. And guess what? You are always growing. You are always expanding. You are becoming the person that you were designed to be. And that is having a ripple effect on the people that come in contact with you. So many of the people that are listening are here to have a bigger impact. I truly believe that. And it's up to us to be the role model, because when we are the role model and we can do it scared, trust me, I do a lot of things super scared. And I tell my team, like I was telling my team just 2 weeks ago, like I'm like super scared and I'm just going to do it anyways, right? Because we give permission for others to do the same. And I think that is what's super juicy about us getting ourselves out of the way, right? It's not about us.
Correct.
It's about who we're here to serve. And when we can get out of our way and see that we're here to serve other people, like it can be a game changer.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I was like preaching there for a second. I'm like fired up. Like I'm fired up.
Go, Teri. I love it. Thank you so much. It's so true. And I love your drawing, because I call it stretching. Stretch your comfort zone. You don't have to jump out of the plane, but maybe you can just jump in the air, just that much today. So do this one step, whatever scares you every day. Thank you so much. And please tell our audience, what is the best way to connect with you, where to find you?
Yes. So everything is on my website. So you can go to that website. It's talkingwithteri, TERI.com is my website. It has all the links, and you're putting up some links there too for all my social media
we will
handles.
More links under the video.
And Yep. And for those that want to check out my podcast, I have a podcast on all the major podcasting forums called Talking with Teri. And then just to reach out, if you want to grab my free copy of my book, please do so at BeTheMagicOfYou.com. And you can grab your free copy of the book, Be the Magic of You.
Be the magic of you. Remember, you can be magic to you every single day. And we talked today to Teri Karjala. I'm still trying to make it correct.
You got it, girl.
And thank you so much for being here with us. And I cannot wait to have you back and talk about intention and law of attraction in a near future. Thank you, everyone who is with us today. Oh, Carla said, preach. I love it. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Thank you, Carla, for being here with us. And Ian and Pratibha and everyone else who I cannot see. I think Randy is also with us. Thank you so much. Please share with your friends and family, because you never know who might need to hear that conversation today. And see you on Tuesday at noon. It's going to be the 100th episode. Wow. What is going to happen? Who knows? Again,
I hope you're having a party.
Yes, we're having a party. I cannot say. It's a surprise. You are all invited. So
I love it. I will be there.
Yes, please. Thank you so much. See you next time, and just keep rising, keep rising awareness, and spread it and share it with everyone around, because it's the only way to move forward and to grow. Break the habit of addiction to self-sabotage. Stretch your comfort zone, one step, one action every single day. And be the magic to yourself. Thank you so much. See you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.